Okay, looks like everything's good to go. Get started. This is going to be a Kenshi playthrough with nothing but UI, map mods, and some conversational mods. So all the shopkeepers, all of the things you can buy, the combat is completely unchanged from vanilla. So the only things you're going to see different are how the map looks. I won't have any like real options for different conversations with people, but you will hear a lot of random chatter that you normally wouldn't. It just makes it a little bit funnier. We're doing the Wanderer start. This is how I like to start most of my runs. It's just the base game. The only thing I'll say that I usually never play unmodded unless it's your first Kenshi playthrough. I think there's a lot of great mods that make the game just better. But if you want the first raw Kenshi experience, this is how you do it. You get some map mods, performance improvement mods, and nothing else. You're going to crank your production speed up, your research speed up, and your building speed up. Now, this does make it a little bit easier when it comes to food production. You'll be able to produce food plenty fast enough for your people. But if you just put enough effort into it, that's never an issue. This just keeps building and research from taking eons. You spend less time with your characters sitting around doing nothing. And then to counterbalance that, I like to crank the number of nests up. This has advantages and disadvantages, but the big thing is you're going to see more beak things, more wolves, and for some reason bandits are considered nests, I think. So we'll see a lot more bandits. Basically a lot less time running around, doing nothing, a lot more time fighting, getting the gear we want, and playing the game, having the most fun possible. This is how I always set my settings for Kenshi. The obligatory inappropriate name for the main character. We're going to start with Greenlander. This will just be our main character. If this guy dies, basically the run ends. So a lot of the decisions that are made will kind of revolve around that. This is us, the fat guy with the neck beard that streams Kenshi. Okay, don't ask questions. First thing we're going to do is make a sprint to Squin, get a backpack and some basic stuff. We've got just enough cats to get a little bit of money going. If we're lucky, we'll also land Ruka. That'll be the best thing, is getting Ruka online. That way she can go die instead of us. Better her than me. The basic plan, usually anytime I start a new run, it's kind of the same thing. Hit Squin, get a backpack, go scavenge just a little bit. We're not going to do any of that mining nonsense at the beginning. We're just going to start with scavenging, and I'll show you one of my favorite places to do that. If we get very lucky, we'll be hiring mercenaries and raiding a beak thing nest pretty early on. If we don't, we'll just get enough cash to get people that we can hire to mine for us, and we'll let them do the boring stuff while we get after it. Okay, get a backpack, basic med kit, and then if you sell, you don't have to sell your pants, but if you sell your crappy little weapon you're not going to use anyway, then you have enough money to buy some dried meat, just in case it takes a little bit of time for us to get done with scavenging. That's going to let us have enough food just to make it till we manage to get a good scavenger too. This guy's gonna follow us to check our bag, but it just doesn't matter. I'm not gonna stop to have a conversation with him. He'll eventually give up and go back to town. So one of the things that can kind of put people off from Kenshi is a lot of times what people will do is they'll go to the hub, they'll start mining copper, and they'll get their butt kicked by a random group of bandits and then die because they don't understand that if you get into a fight and everybody that is in your group gets into that fight and gets hurt bad enough, especially early in the game, you're just going to die. You don't magically wake up, everything's not okay, you're not going anywhere. So we're going to head over to the hive. This is typically you'll see people hanging out at the gate. They try to bait some bandits back to the guards. This is like the next tier of that. We're going to bait beak things, bulls, garu into the hivers, and that'll give us a lot more money a lot faster. And unless we get really unlucky, we're going to have plenty of money. Okay. So we did get a little unlucky and lucky at the same time. This is a beak thing nest with some beak thing eggs. Beak things are just not killable, especially in base Kenshi at the start of the game. There's just no hope. Later in the game, once our guys are well equipped and have good enough stats to go toe to toe, there's ways to deal with them, but we ideally didn't want to nest on our way there. Now we got to be on the lookout for a bunch of beak things just showing up and eating our face before we even get there. So we're going to slow it down so I have time to react. It looks like, yeah, no, there's a whole nest of beak things there. So we've got to get away from that. There's ways to kind of cheese running away from beak things, but if you don't want to do that, then you really just got to stay a decent distance away from them. Now what this lets us do though, with that nest being there, it's not that far, but it's too far to bait them fully to the village. I'd probably get eaten trying. But once we have enough money to hire mercenaries, we'll take them there, let them work as a distraction, and we'll make a bunch of money. So now we just need, there we go, 1 or 2 beak things to come over here. As long as you're standing by the middle building, when they try to attack, the guards will intervene. Because they are about their business. They do not want their customers being eaten. The beak things kind of ignore them. They don't seem to really be hostile to them unless the guards attack them defending you. But they don't seem to have a problem with the hivers other than that. They don't normally just run in and attack them. And what you're seeing here is I can kind of bait the beak things by attacking them and running towards them, basically screaming, hey, screw you, beak thing, and then running right back. Sell all of those skins. We've already got enough money to hire mercenaries. Now the trick is going to be getting out of here alive. We got in here safely, which was good. That's pretty easy, especially as the area is loading in. But now we're looking at running past a beak thing nest and a bunch of wandering beak things just to get out of here. If you look over here, we've already got more coming in. We'll go loot those. Oh. So something's on to me. There's more beak things coming. So we're going to hang out by the middle. Let them come over and get knocked down. Because you don't want to get hit by these even once. One good hit is enough with no armor and no toughness. You can just get smoked right off the bat. Is that one good too? Where are the ones they were fighting that I did not loot? They're going to be over here. No? I thought I saw more fighting, but that's okay. Gotta be careful, I've still got the speed cranked up and I'm just Looking around, not paying attention. Now that it's getting late, though, this is going to be our chance to get out of here. Is this the right building? Yep, there he is. So not only do we want to sell all of our skins, which we've got enough money now. We don't have to go do anything else. We can go get a full mining operation set up with 2 workers, a building. We're set already, but we can get a lot more by raiding that beak thing nest. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the free and easy fast money. We know there's a nest over here, so we're going to run south first. See if we can get out of here without getting spotted. Make sure we don't equip the lantern. Be ready to sneak if we need to. Now head east to the hub. And we just have to keep an eye on that west side, watching out for beak things wandering over from the nest. And again, turning the nests up just makes it so you might see a nest close to the hive, but the wandering beak things will always be there. Wandering garu, wandering bulls will always wander through there. It may take a little bit of time, but you're never going to be sitting there waiting for too long. So now that we've got our money, we're going to head to Stack. If you look up here on the map, if you've got the nice map mod, you can see the roads, and you'll see this circle that shows where this city is. That's what we're headed to. We're heading to Stack. We're going to set up a mining operation that's in a safe place. So you can mine outside the hub, you can mine outside of Squin, but those people are going to get attacked on the regular. You're going to have to keep an extra person there just to go heal them and pick them up. Hope that you notice before they get scooped up for slavery. It's just not nearly as convenient or useful as setting up in Stack. In Stack, the copper resource you're going to mine is inside the city. And while you can't buy a large building without installing some mods, this is going to give you enough to have constant income. You will just constantly be making money while you're out running around doing the fun stuff. So we're just looking for cheap labor. Griffin's going to be our first recruit. We didn't even bother to grab Ruka, but we'll grab Ruka in a little bit. I'm so used to doing this, I didn't even take the time to get Ruka. But ideally, what I just went and did, you would do with Ruka, so you don't risk your main character, because I like having that restriction. You can kind of look at it as you're just telling a story for the whole crew. You know, like Walking Dead, the main guy can just die and that's fine, you keep going. But I like to have a main character who has their goals, and that's what I'm focused on. So when that guy dies, I see that as it's time to end the story and go next. So I shouldn't have been risking him. I should have made Ruka do that. But the next person we'll want to hire is Griffin. He's going to have decent stats, everything but toughness. So he's great to start as your first stealth character. So we'll get him soon, but right now we just need some guys to swing pickaxes. So we want dirt cheap. We don't have a ton of money to start with. Yeah, see, this is perfect. So you can't, I know it's going to sound bad, you cannot hire females right now. Any Holy Nation city, which is what Stack is, if they see a woman running around on her own, they will immediately accuse her of having an OnlyFans and imprison her. Throw her into slavery. She can never be caught walking around alone, standing in your building alone, any of that. They can just, and it's random. There's no certain way you can behave, no way you can respond that will guarantee you get out of it. So we're going to get these 2 guys, hire some male Greenlanders, get them to mine it. Now the reason we grab these lanterns is when the 2 of them are standing side by side at the copper mine, they're going to be able to see just fine even in the middle of the night. That's going to get them going. They're basically, you suffer a big penalty to your mining if you don't have lanterns to work by. This is kind of dangerous when you're outside the city because it draws attention to you, but when you're mining inside the city, it's not a problem. So the other thing you always want to be on the lookout for is free money. That's what we call all these dead wolves here, free money. So not only is it free money, we're also going to get a ton of free food. We can take this meat, cook it up, and we will have plenty of food to get our guys started as well. Because the more stocked up on food they are, the less you have to come and check on them. You just check once or twice a day to sell the copper. Once they've been at it for a while and their skill gets high enough, you'll definitely want to check twice a day, but for now, once a day should do it. Alright, it's after 6 o'clock. The machine shop's open, I believe. Here's the machine shop. So we're going to buy this house here. And we need 5 building materials and 3 plates. And we needed the money to hire 2 people. So we already went and got them working on the mine. They might beat us to it. Yep, they've already got it ready. But it's better to do that than just sit and research, hoping that you can get it done quick enough. So we'll sell all these. We go from 5,000 cats to over 7,000. 3 for the research bench, 1 for storing food, and 1 for general storage. 3 plates to allow us to store the copper. So we come in here, we set up a small research bench, which is just hitting B. If you're really new and you don't even know how to get that far, you hit B. That's going to bring up your ability to build these different things. Like I said before, I turn the building speed all the way up, the research speed up. I don't want to spend my time in the game just staring at the screen waiting for him to be done researching. The first thing we want to research is ore. That's what we need. That's the number one thing we need. As soon as we get ore research done, we can basically get them mining and making money. As soon as that happens, we go start looking for more new recruits and getting them ready to go exploring. Alright. Now that that's ready, we're going to make 2 copper boxes for now, because we still have to have room for the research bench. And 2 will be enough a lot of times, but once you get further in and they're more experienced, you'll need 3 to keep up with it. So we're just bought a little shack in the middle of stack, sticking some storage area here for copper, and we've got 2 guys working on mining. This is how we plan to make our money consistently without having to sit here and do this ourselves. This is the only part where we should just sit around bored. Everything after this, we're going to be getting somebody trained up, someone geared up, going exploring, taking mercenaries to raid beat thing nests, making as much money as fast as we can. We're not going to waste any time researching anything we don't actually need. I think I'm going to be able to make enough money and travel to enough places to where I don't even really need to manufacture my own armor. In unmodded Kenshi, it's actually really hard to do that without starting your own town. So if you have no armor and no really highly experienced fighters, starting a new town is a death sentence. You're just going to get murdered. Alright, so now that we're done with our bench, we can take this down. And you can do that by just clicking over here instead of waiting for him to finish. Get some more copper storage. I'll probably have to move my butt. It's really not wanting to let me do it this far back. Not sure why it's stopping me. It shouldn't be. Step out, come back in. It should let me place it close to these, but for some reason it's not letting me. Back here will work just fine too. Just have to make sure we can still fit food storage somewhere. Yeah, as long as it'll fit it, that's all we care about. And then I like to have a general storage chest in case we get some equipment. Yeah, it's being a little buggy. That's Kenshi for you. We're just not going to worry about the general storage for now. Alright, so what this is letting us do, we're now going to be able to walk over to any of these guys here. You can choose show me your wares, and we can still click on our storage and just drag the copper over instead of having to huff it ourselves physically. And we can sell our goods that way. He's got some already cooked meat. We'll buy that. We don't need the rest of these building materials, but it's kind of a waste to sell it back. The problem is they're heavy. We're just going to take the loss. I just wanted to get all of my buildings open as quick as possible. I wanted these up so they could store it. Now, we've just got to set up a camping fire. This is going to let us cook all that free meat we got. And you can set jobs to get people to do repeatable things by holding shift and right clicking. So now he's going to haul to that fire and then put the food away as it cooks. Once we've got all this food cooked up and put away, we're going to bail. This won't take very long. Alright, all that food's cooked up. We don't need to take any with us. We're not going anywhere dangerous or for any extended period of time. We've got a little bit of money, but not quite enough. And there we go. We already made so much money just from getting those guys up and running. Now we can go hire Griffin. I don't know if I want to do that yet. We could make Ruka our first person that's stealthy, but she's not going to have the stats. We'll do her as our second one. So we're going to go find Griffin. And like I said, he's going to have a lot of great stats. We'll have him join us, and we're going to hand over the backpack and the healing kit. We'll take his cruddy one for us just in case. We're going to sell this. This weapon is not very good. It's too heavy. He's not really strong enough to use that properly. This is just going to negatively affect our stealth, so we'll get rid of that. He starts with a dark leather shirt, which is great. That's one of the items we're after. Now for our character, we can just stick him chilling in the bar. And he'll go eat as needed, but he can just chill in the bar. He's got Griffin. He told him, you know, go get your gear you need. Once we have enough money, we're going to join the Shinobi Thieves. That's going to allow us to really get trained up and ready to be sneaky. So buy some sandals. And we're not going to buy a small splint kit. We're going to wait till we can afford a big one. We're going to need a sleeping bag. And we're going to send him to recruit Ruka. By the time he gets back, we can hire mercenaries. We'll send her with the mercenaries, and we'll have him training lockpicking and getting his stealth up. So as bad as it sounds, Ruka's going to be our very expendable person to go hunt beak thing nests. Ooh, actually we're not going to... No, we're not, because she's not going to be able to hire anybody. We're going to have to use someone else as the expendable person for that. She's not going to be able to walk into stat, female and not human. She's a Shek. So that's never going to work. Either way, we'll figure out some way to get at least 2 groups of mercenaries to go with us. We don't want to waste too much money on them because it was a small nest. Maybe we'll take just 1 group. Alright, so we made it to the hub. We're going to head to Squin. We kind of want to just follow the mostly safe roads We don't want to run into any trouble just yet. While Griffin's running, we can come in here, sell some of our stuff. Now the other thing, the advantage here, this shop, the bar, and the bakery will all buy our copper. So we're going to be able to actually sell all of that copper even when we start mining up a ton of it at once. And for the most part, the path between Squin and the hub is pretty safe. If you run into bandits, as long as you're not encumbered, you're not wearing anything that slows you down, you can just run right past them. You just want to make sure your guy doesn't stop to fight them. So up here we've got two of the good recruits out of here. Rain the Giant has good stats other than toughness. But Ruka, if you have a nice little chat with her and don't insult her, she'll join us for free. Free is exactly the kind of price we're looking for starting out. Okay. She's going to need the backpack that Griffin has. And Griffin's going to trade for a different one later. Get a little food for both of them. We're going to send Griffin back to the hub. We're going to send Ruka down here. There should be a good place for her to hire mercenaries here. And then we'll hire mercenaries at the hub. And that should give us all the people we need to go raid that nest. We're just going to hire them for one day and make a beeline straight for the nest. It's a little bit closer to do stack, but it shouldn't matter. The nest is so close to where we're going to hire the second set of mercenaries that it should be fine. We're just going to make sure Griffin's not out here in the open like he is. Put him somewhere safe-ish. Okay, plenty of mercenaries to hire here. Perfect. We've got the money. Just got to find the leader. So that's the tech hunter, mercenary leader. We should have 3 groups now, it looks like. That's good. The more the better. It's honestly worth it. It's only half a beak thing egg to hire a mercenary team. So it's just better to have plenty of people rather than going there underprepared. Because you'd be surprised how easily these supposed mercenaries get dunked on by beak things. One day. We're going to take that same road so that hopefully we see as few enemies as possible. Because they'll stop to fight anything that attacks us. We can't really get them to leave things alone, even if we want them to. So we're just going to hope they keep up and don't get into too many fights. That's the only obnoxious thing about hiring mercenaries. But it's just not going to be enough hiring one team to go fight a group of beak things, even as a distraction. If there's more beak things than mercenaries, one of the beak things at least is after you. And then you can't grab the eggs, you're going to be moving too slow. Can't believe they want to bag check Ruka. That's just rude. No, we're not going here. We're going to the hub. Come on now. So we'll head to the hub, and that's going to be where we get our last set of mercenaries. Then we're getting Beak Thing eggs. That'll be a big influx of money. That'll cover getting Griffin into the Shinobi Thieves and getting him the gear he needs to be able to just run around the map practically invisible. Ruka's going to be good for this just because as a Shek, if she gets injured and healed up, knocked out and healed up, she's going to toughen up faster than even Griffin would. Griffin we'll want, ideally, we're just using that base 20 strength so that he can run carrying a decent backpack and still stay fully unencumbered and stealthed up. That's the main reason we want to turn him into a stealth character. Our Sheks we want to turn into warriors for sure. Hire the last set of bodyguards, and we head for the nest. Now we'll want to slow it down to make sure they can all keep up. Keep her on passive and hold. Medic just in case. We want to stay away from any bandits. I think we've got everybody with us. Yep, they're coming. And we just want to slowly creep up here so that they can get the attention of the Beak Things and we don't get murdered. And if the worst happens, we do still have Griffin fairly nearby. Put our food not in our backpack. Thank you. We don't want to waste any time fighting bandits. That's not what we hired these guys for. Is there another nest over here? Or is that just some Beak Things? Looks like that's just some Beak Things. And this is why we hired the mercenaries. We are slow and vulnerable carrying these things. But each one of these is worth hiring 2 mercenary groups and 200 extra cats. So we're going to make a nice tidy profit off of this little trip. If we can find another Beak Thing nest before the timer wears off on these guys, that'll be amazing. It's a little risky, but we're probably going to take that risk. So we sell off as many of the eggs as we can, already at 21,000 cats. That's amazing. We're going to get Griffin to join the Thieves Guild. Well, the Shinobi Thieves Guild. Want to join. And then we just want to put him on lockpicking as soon as possible. That's why we didn't waste any time joining. And then being our allies is nice, but it doesn't actually mean all that much. But now we have a ton of money. This is the kind of money that's going to let us really get stuff done. So there might be another nest around here somewhere if I look hard enough. We can kind of use the map to see. There are definitely a ton of Beak Things out here that we can fight. We just want to make sure we aren't the one fighting them. This isn't the best use of the mercenaries, but it's what we got. We'll look and see if we can find some more Beak Things and Beak Thing nests. It looks like there's so many of them over here. It might be worth checking for another nest. But we gotta stay by these guys or we're gonna get crushed. We're going to go ahead and sell since we got another full backpack. Alright, luckily he had enough money for us to sell all that. That was another 10,000 cats. Now we're going to check down here. That's another pretty common place for there to be a nest. But we're really just going to go looking for trouble and hoping that we don't get caught up. So there's a beak thing there. We'll try to pull it in. Anytime you can fight just one on its own is the best. Because they're not going to know to split up. They're always going to stand there getting AoE'd by the darn thing. And we're just trying to use the map to help us find these. See, we wandered into big things. I didn't even see them because of the lighting, so I gotta be careful there not to get snuck up on. So if you look, I don't see a nest, but there are a ton of beak things down here. Oh, there is. There's a nest. That's why I like the map, because sometimes you can't really see. Up there's where the eggs are. So we've just got to see if they can survive this. There's not that many guys left. So we want to make sure they actually can survive all these beak things. Because the minute we run out of guys for the beak things to fight, it's us. We're eaten. We're dead. Our main job is to make sure the beak things stay down. Now we just want to head over to this nest and check it out. Ideally, without getting eaten first. Oh yeah, there's a few beak thing eggs there. Not a ton, but enough that it's worth going and getting. And this will be the last thing we're going to do. Our timer's probably about to wear off, and these guys are getting their butts kicked. So they're probably worn out. I don't have enough room for another egg, really? The eggs are worth a lot more, so we're going to focus on those. And then we are headed back to the hive village before these guys run out of either their timer or there's just too many of them getting their butt kicked to be able to protect us. There's only a handful of them left walking with us. Yeah, we're not even gonna look back at that. We're just gonna keep going. As long as we have somebody walking with us, we're just gonna keep going. We are trying to get back to the village in one piece, sell this off, and then we're going to go buy either some new property or just look at getting a bunch of stealthy people set up. What I want to do next is check on our copper, sell that, then start getting some decent gear for some soldiers to fight alongside Ruka. So we made a ton of money off of that. We spent some money, but we made a ton. they don't even have enough money to buy all of the skins, but that's okay. We're gonna head for the hub. We've still got some guys in tow, so that's ideal. Trying to leave here, sometimes you're gonna run into more beak things, and it's way better to have an escort for that. Yeah, see, that first one has ended. And all the other ones, yeah. So right as that's ending, we're getting out of here. That's perfect. Griffin's over there training his lockpicking. The reason I'm focused on that early is every time we go to try and find treasure, we're going to need someone with tools or the ability to lockpick. And you don't want to leave one chest unopened because you ran out of the tools to just cut it open. I'd always rather have somebody who can lockpick just in case. It's also great in case he gets in trouble and gets caught. So now we've got to figure out, okay, do we want to do crafting? And I think the answer is no. I don't think there's a single city that's going to provide enough materials to be able to do legitimate crafting. So let's go. There's wolves even making it into here? That's crazy. So see, even he ran out of having enough money to buy all of our copper. So we'll come here. Like I said, we can still click on these. I don't think we got any in the back sides. Yeah. So that's all set. Just double check. No, we did have some. But the bakery can also buy some. And we can always just actually walk into here with the menu open. I didn't mean to shift click that. That'll work. Buy some more food, make sure we stay stocked up. Now we've got a nice fat stack of cats. This is going to let us buy all the equipment we need. Now we can check with the thief fence here. He's going to be able to give us what we need for running around as a sneaky character. They don't always have everything you need, so you just have to check and see. So the stealth backpack's important. That's going to let us move around in stealth. But he didn't have any of the other stuff we want. So we're going to take a break from doing that training, and we're going to head to the other thief's tower nearby. We also can check, I believe, yep, there's a thief fence here. Doesn't have anything good. Didn't think so. But just in case. Ruka, we can have her head to Squin as well. Squin's probably a good place to set up our actual base. It's not going to, that city doesn't care what race people are. It'll even let robots in. So it's a lot better to keep your main base somewhere like that until we can build one out on our own. When we can build our own little settlement, that's going to be the best, but we're just not strong enough. We would just get wiped out, they'll take everything, and then we're back to square one. Come on, Griffin, finish your run. What is he doing? actually going to check before I buy property. I always play modded, so the stores have very different options for what you can buy compared to what I'm used to. I'm used to a lot better selection of armor and weapons being available. They just cost a lot more since they're high quality, and there's usually a higher amount of options. So when we come here and see here, he's got some high grade armor. That's not bad. So for very incapable characters, if you give them heavy armor and a really light weapon, that usually works out pretty well. That will allow them to have enough of a penalty that they'll learn quick, because the bigger penalties you have, the quicker they learn the different skills. But it's also going to keep them from getting hurt too badly to where they can't get back up. The downside is they're going to move really slow, they're going to get hungry all the time, so you could use light or medium armor as well to start with. For what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with heavy armor right off the bat and crossbows, and you're going to see how, as counterintuitive as it may sound, once you have a large enough group of them, it just doesn't matter. It's a very effective way to run an unskilled army. Okay, there we go. So this is the mask that gives you a stealth bonus. This is an important piece we need. Now we're also looking for a pair of pants and a chest piece. Let's check out the stores that are available here. We have armor shop, general. Is there a ranger shop here? I think there is. If there's a ranger shop here, we may want to set up an ad mag. There's a weapon shop. I want to say there's a ranger shop here. Travel gear. I don't think that's going to have what I need. I really want to set up shop in a place where I can buy crossbows consistently, like good crossbows. That's what I really want. I might have to take my stealthy character Griffin and set up shop in a place called Flats Lagoon. That's another place where I can get really good crossbows, but it's so far away. It is in the middle of the map a little bit, but you can't buy a decent sized building there. So it would just be to store up a bunch of crossbows, buying them over time. Really, right now, the main thing I'm focused on is just getting Griffin the equipment he needs to move around in stealth. There's a pair of pants that'll give a stealth bonus and a shirt. And when you combine that together, that's 4 pieces of gear. These 3 will add up to the chest's bonus to stealth. And we'll be basically running at 100 stealth almost at the start of the game. It's a really great way to set up your scouts. You just don't put a lantern on them, and especially at night, they may as well be invisible. No one's going to see them. They'll move very fast across the map. It's a great way to get started with scouting out the area. Because you don't want to take an army full of noobs exploring in regions where they're going to run into things that will flat out kill them. So we need to run Griffin all the way to stack. So we'll check on Ruka. Shops aren't open yet. So we do have the option of doing standard mercenary gear. This has a negative effect on crossbows, but again, that's not really an issue. The biggest thing is you'll see the harpoon resistance is 13. That applies to all crossbows. Here it's 53, meaning if we shoot each other, because friendly fire is definitely on in Kenshi, we're going to take a lot less damage. And that is such a huge advantage to training them on crossbows, because as they get better at it, they won't shoot each other anymore, and they'll just shoot the enemies while wearing heavy gear. Now, your accuracy isn't going to be great. You're just kind of looking for having enough people that the fire rate takes care of it itself. We aren't going to be able to buy good crossbows here, so I do need to figure out where I'm going to get good crossbows from before I get started making a bunch of purchases. So we'll get her out of that shop so she doesn't overstay her welcome if we miss it getting dark. His money hasn't reset yet. He's got enough that even if it hasn't reset, he can buy. And if you look, we're farming up so much copper that we're ending up with all the money we need. The clothes shop here may actually have what we're looking for in pants. I always seem to remember that last. Yes. Okay, so this is perfect. We got the pants we needed and the chest piece. So now we're fully kitted out in our stealth gear. We just need to see where we're going to get those crossbows. So I'm going to check some of the other Holy Nation cities, see what they're selling, see if they have a decent crossbow shop. That wolf's chasing us, but it's not fast enough. It's not going to matter. Here's something we can do since we're running from him anyway. While you're running away from people, if you flick stealth on, you're going to get a big influx in stealth experience. We went from 1 all the way to 6. And you can see it's just going up and going up. And until we get a decent distance from the people that were chasing us, then it'll start to slow down. Anytime someone's chasing you and they can't catch you, you just want to keep flicking stealth back on. It'll fall off when they get too close, but just keep flicking it back on and you can casually get some good sneaking experience in. We've got a way to just go max it out using some of the raptors that the raptor nests will see. We'll get into that as soon as we're ready. We just want to scope out a good place to buy crossbows if possible. I wouldn't be surprised if I just can't with the Holy Nation, and I'm going to have to find somewhere else to do that. Luckily, these wolves can't swim any better than us, or we would be toast. But like before, we're just going to run, put ourselves on stealth, and try to get some free XP while we look around for crossbows. So again, we're checking our stealth stat, and because we're running away from something, it's just going up and up. And because of the gear we're wearing, it's almost doubled from what the real stat is. Bar, weapon shop, and armory. Nope, that was kind of what I was worried about. I don't think we're going to find any shops with good crossbows in the Holy Nation. They're just very anti-science. They don't believe in good weapons. So we're going to head on to Okran's Pride and just get our stealth training finished up. What that's probably going to mean is we're going to have to choose between Flats Lagoon or Morn for our supplies for crossbows. But I don't want to spend all this time crafting them when we could just be buying the stuff and getting decent armor to at least get us started. Because once you've got okay armor and okay crossbows, you can take an army of like 10 people out to hunt down dust bandits until they're trained up enough to deal with tough stuff. And this is all without having to worry about, randomly getting squad wiped and losing everybody. Because recruiting people, especially again without mods, can be a real hassle. So we just want to get all these guys chasing us. And then we're just going to click on an area in the distance, slow down our speed, and just run away. Now our speed was up too high, so we ended up losing them too quickly, but since I've kicked it down, we should be able to get them to follow us for a decent amount of time. We'll attack these guys as well. Come on, guys, attack me. You know you want to. And then we'll run in the direction they were running anyway. Set ourselves to sneak. Speed it up. Ooh, we're low on food, so that's no good. We'll head back to Bad Teeth and get our food up. And this is all we're going to have to do. We'll just run around for a little bit until our stealth is maxed out. The whole idea is just so that, for the most part, we're not going to get gobbled up by beak things when we go really exploring the map with this guy. We also could do drug runs from the swamp over to Flats Lagoon. That's kind of medium risk, depending on how you do it. If you just pick up a pack animal and cheese it, it's nothing. You can make a fortune in a couple days and never really need money again. But we're going to try and avoid doing anything too cheesy. So far, we've just done scavenging and hiring mercenaries to legitimately go make some money. But if you have to, you also can walk into shops that have expensive robotics and just grab stuff off the shelves and make no attempt to hide what you're doing. And that can be a good way to get money if you can get out of there alive, but then you've got a bounty, they don't like you. It's a little too easy, even with unmodded Kenshi. That just feels like it's a bit extra. And thievery in general is a great way to make money, but we can just do our scavenging, have our mining operation that's in a nice safe place, and then we're going to make our money a little bit differently. We should be able to go exploring and not have to do all that. Really, I'm just going back and forth behind them even will get me a decent amount of XP. Ooh, I got hit. That's never good. So if you get too comfortable and you get sloppy, it's going to mess things up. But that penalty that we have now from being injured is just going to make us learn faster. But if we can get more groups of them to attack us at once, set ourselves to stealth. And once we heal our injuries, it's going to be even higher. Those injuries, until they're fully healed and the bar's back to completely green, that's cutting off a decent amount of our stealth. So now we're kind of at the point we could stay here, but since I'm looking at scoping out Mongrel and Flats Lagoon anyway, we probably could go ahead and head out through some of the safer areas where there aren't beak things, and we'll get the rest of the XP we need on the way there. Ruka's just sitting around hungry. Sorry, Ruka, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck we're going to do, where we're going to set up. Because I don't want to set up in the middle of Mongrel, because getting people in and out of there is a nightmare. And we're just here to rest up, get our stealth stat fully maxed back out again. Gonna sell off all of the copper. You always want to keep it sold down so that the shops don't run out of money on you for any extended period of time. You don't want to take a cut to your income. Alright, so we're at 53 stealth already. We could go to Mongrel and see if we're able to get stuff there. I wonder if the World's End would work. I don't even remember. Half of this is just legitimate exploration because I haven't played unmodded in so long. We're going to head up there and see what we can get. Griffin's stealthy enough that he should get there safely. Ruka, we could have her train at the Shinobi Tower in the hub for now. Let her get some lockpicking experience and things like that. We're also going to want to set up a place to start the long, grueling process of research. We're going to have enough money to buy up most of that research from a special area I'll show you. Until we get that, though, we're really going to want to focus on money and getting our guys equipped and where we're going to set up. We don't want to waste a lot of our startup money building a building somewhere where we can't even actually equip our characters. So up here there's a place we can buy fantastic armor, but it's small quantities. I'm hoping that the World's End has decent armor and crossbows. We really just want both of those. And if they don't, we'll try some of the other cities. We're just doing some legitimate exploration. We'll even check Blister Hill. It never hurts to check. But I think all they have is helmets and boots. She made it to the hub safe and sound. That's good. Okay, Griffin in the city. I'm going to set her to attack and then lockpick. So we do have an armor shop. That was step one. Headgear, boots, mechanical, clothes. Yeah, we'll try the mechanical shop, but I don't think we're gonna find what we want here. Make sure you take sneak off before you go to talk to somebody, or you're going to try to knock them out. And that's never the play. What does the closed shop have? Same old stuff. The bar. Could we get lucky at the weapon shop? I don't think so. They do sell Paladin's crosses, which is nice, just not the blueprint for it. Alright, we're gonna head out, see if we can find the right place to set up shop. We'll be able to make money from stack anyway. We just need to know where we're gonna have the highest concentration of purchasable crossbows and heavy armor. That's what we're looking for in one place, without having to go all the way to the United Cities, and ideally we don't want to go to Katoon either. That's running through Beak Thing territory like crazy. Oh, we've already went up the wrong way. I don't know why I did that. We need to come over here. Nobody's randomly starving themselves to death. That's a good sign. And these are just holy paladin patrols. They're not going to bother us. We're not a woman, so they're not going to hate on us. We will casually get stealth XP, just stealthing past people in general. The idea is that you could be trying to sneak and steal something, so you're getting some XP there. Since we're running almost full speed, we're just going to leave ourselves in stealth and keep going. So we take sneak off. He's actually not really running any faster. Let's crank our speed up. I had to turn down from training. Now we can go full speed. Now that we're on the right side of this, I think the city's right around there. Just want to make sure we actually go up the right side of this river, or we end up not able to get there. I just wanted to double check. Yeah, we are going to Arm of Okron, so that's where we're going. We're going the right way. Now out here there's all kinds of dangerous things. There's hostile robots, hostile just things in general. So we're just going to stay stealth, keep moving, let Ruka get trained up. What's her attack stat at? Is she even training anymore? Oh, her melee attack's already too high to benefit from that. So we get her lockpick training. Well, we want to keep an eye on Griffin. We don't want him randomly running into something and dying. I think these are just going to be wolf nests, which aren't a big deal. As long as they're not beak things. Beak things are something we're just not going to be able to outrun anytime soon. Perfect. We are on our way to where I wanted to go. So there's a city up here that they've got a fake statue to Okron just to keep them happy, so the Holy Nation will leave them alone. But they actually have a ton of research and robots. We might be able to get everything we need here. want to try out just using toothpicks because they have the best reload time and see how that really plays out, because I haven't done that before. So there's a headgear shop, but it has the full armor symbol, weapons, a full-on armor shop, and a ranger shop. Is there anywhere for me to... There's a place for me to purchase. We have found home. Alright, we are going to buy that. Set up food storage. So this is where home base is going to be. No iron or copper. I was wondering if we could make some money here, but it doesn't look like it. So that's the only downside. Not going to be making money here. But all we need to do is keep someone up here to make purchases. Griffin be our recruiter. We're going to have Ruka grab some food and head that way. She's going to have to be careful not to get caught by the Holy Nation running over there. Ooh. Okay, so I can buy all the equipment I want there, but I'm not going to want to keep my people there, because I can't take any Shek up there easily. Oh boy, so it's literally just gonna be where I buy everything from. Oh man, so I need someone that can run up there without getting called out and having a problem. Logan won't talk to Ruka? That's interesting. Okay, time to go recruiting again. I wonder if Logan won't let Ruka hire him because she's a Shek. No, we're still going to be in Holy Nation territory. Can't take a woman over there. We basically just need our second stealth character. And no luck. Bummer. Guess we'll have to take... Oh, there it is. Now she can talk to Logan. Yeah, we'll hire you. Sell off your overly heavy gear. Get you a backpack. Bingo. We'll hit the stack to try and get you more stealth gear. Ruka, we're gonna set up our science shop in Squin. You know, before I purchased that, I probably should have made sure the armor here doesn't suck. What do you got, buddy? Okay, high to specialist. At the very least, standard heavy. That's good. And the ranger shop. What do you have? Everybody's standing at their door. Freaking me out, man. Okay, we can get high quality toothpicks here. Which is what I want. Just for that reload speed. That reload speed, I think, is going to make a bigger difference in large scale fights. So that's perfect. We got what we need here. He doesn't need to stay here, though. Tools. Oh, we can even get decent legs here. Not the best, but something. So if somebody loses 11, we absolutely have to. That'll be good. So we've got to make sure no matter what we do, we don't want to start a fight with the tech hunters, since that's where our new place of purchasing equipment is. Have Logan hit the clothes shop. Hopefully buy those pants we're after. Oh man, we got the chest piece, but not the pants. What a bummer. Oh, really? Yeah, I need you to sell me some stuff before you worry about fighting that animal. Dang. Alright. Fine, we'll go buy some food over here. So, turning the nests up has backfired a little. Even our bartender for one of the bars is dead. That's rough. He still doesn't have anything I want. I'll take him off of his jobs because I want him to keep his food. And we're just going to head straight over there. We're not going to sweat getting the ultra stealthy stuff just yet. Ruka, get out of there before you get in trouble. And we're going to buy this house to set up our local science area. She's already got a backpack. Great. We'll need a new research bench since we took it down at the old place. And we'll need food storage. And then general storage chest. Bring our main character over here to do our science and research. Griffin, you can go ahead and head out. We don't need you staying there. Ooh. He actually had tools. Now for Griffin, we probably want to send him here. This is where we're going to get our best crossbows. Hiring people. we'll hire a robot to make purchases there. What's the headgear shop at before we leave town? Let's check it out. No, nothing that I'm looking for. Again, we'll check the armor shop. See if there's anything fancy there. So I was wondering if maybe they'd have stuff for acid and burns. They don't, so we're just gonna have to kind of hope for it. Hope he doesn't get wrecked. Actually, let's put Logan on a good path here. Get him another. Oh, wow. I'm always amazed by the amount of people just starting crap in the middle of town. I'll have him trade with Ruka. Because I need a backpack on him. Just to simplify it. Buy some books. We want small house, tech 2. We don't have enough of this, really. That's annoying. We'll sell to this guy. As you saw, we ended up having more than we knew what to do with, honestly. Why can't he pick that up? There we go. Well, we can't send Ruka. Storage, iron plates. Put some iron plate storage here too. Don't have building material storage. Now, I've got a lot of people running around. This is where it can get pretty unsafe if I don't pay attention to them stalling out. Let's get Logan moving. Griffin's the one I'm the most worried about. Yep, see there, he stopped. I honestly don't think I even want to run from that direction. We're going to come clear over here and try it that way. I want to make sure that when I head into there, I'm not taking the longest, crappiest route and running into a bunch of murder robots. Just have Khaled come trade with us. We'll grab the books and be done with it. Do have to be a little careful. We're a little encumbered, and that can lead to problems if we get attacked. It does seem like turning the nests up, we're seeing so many wolves attacking stack, it might actually become a problem. If they wipe out all the guards, we're not going to be able to do business there anymore, and that's going to be annoying. Looks like we are going this way. It just decided to do its own thing. And we are getting chewed up. We're just going to have to flat out run. The last time I made this run, I actually had the acid protection gear, and that's probably a lot smarter. But we're trying to get a speedy start going here, and he should be okay. We just gotta get there and get some rest. Okay, Logan made it. Excellent. Come on, we're practically there. We don't want to worry about going to the scrap house right away. We want to go get some rest in the bar. Robotics lab. There we go. They've got some beds so I can recuperate. Logan, you need storage. You want armor storage. Crossbow lockers. And probably bolt boxes, right? You know, gotta have bolts. So that's plates, building materials, plates. Let's hope we can make the squint without getting chewed up and spit out. So what we're gonna get Ruka doing, we're gonna have her be our somewhat expendable person to go and heal up our miners that we are gonna set up in Squin. We're gonna get that going, but we're gonna use some relatively tough people to do that. We're not gonna use basic noobs. Might be a waste of their talents at the start, but we just need extra money coming in. And I'm focusing on buying the meat because that's what's going to get us the most nutrients for the amount of cats we're spending. So that's why we're focused on buying that dried meat when we have the option. If you don't have that many options, just buy what we can. We'll take her off of research since she's already done it and gets a bonus to it. We shouldn't need this torch post. We'll set that up after we get our next bench up. Now what we're looking for here, this is where we can buy our best equipment and science stuff. We're going to want someone who is not human. Just want him to come with us. Okay. Now the thing about Sad Neil though is his stats are just terrible and we need to get him trained up. Pick up Sad Neil. We actually can just leave him here. Because he's just going to be making purchases and then we'll probably have Griffin come back and make the grabs. Now, is that an armory as in I can buy stuff? I don't think it is. No, they don't want me there. We can go check out the scrap house though and see what's up there. So there's a lot of cool stuff here. This is where you can get some of the best weapons and best crossbows for the advanced crossbows. We can buy a lot of technology items, even some AI cores, which is great. But like you can't buy toothpicks here, and you can't buy good armor. So we're just gonna chill on that. Now we need to take Griffin and get his strength up even further if we can. And we're just going to leave Sad Neil here to make purchases in our name whenever we get the need for it. Backpack. We'll get Griffin another one later. So we just want to get out of the Deadlands as fast as we can and back over here. Looks like we've already finished our research. So So now we gotta pick up these books, dismantle this again. Whew. Almost goofed the whole thing up. And then we need a research bench 2. This research bench will be able to just update instead of tearing it down and building a new one each time, which is nice. But we've got to get that second research bench built first. Make sure we have enough iron plates for it. We're not going to buy anything else for now. And now that that's built, we can do a quick torch post. These torch posts will make sure that we're able to work even when it's dark and get the job done. Of course, he's just standing in acid rain. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes when you put these guys on move orders, you can't just ignore them. You can't trust them to go where they're supposed to go. He is busy trying to die. Can't have that. Get him out of this acid rain area and it won't be nearly so bad. And now with everyone spread out, we're going to need to keep an eye on if they're getting hungry on us. That's another thing we've got to watch out for. So we're getting out of there, but because we're injured, our stealth isn't going to be as good as it could be. We're just going to turn that off so we can run full speed. Got our new research bench. Now we can toss all the books in, get some research going. Need tech level 3, medium shelves, beds, sleeping bags, walls. And we'll need electrics next. So we're going to need a lot of books. That's going to be the catch. But we're going to have people running this stuff in the background. We're not going to have to just sit here and stare at this guy doing research. Logan's got everything built here. Just going to have to buy him some food stockpiles. Let's take a second and stockpile some food on him so we don't have to check on him very often. And we'll just buy everything they've got. Now he should be set for a while. Griffin will hit the way station, heal up, and then we're looking for gear that's going to let him run around in the acid. Now that his stealth's come up, we aren't going to need full-on stealth gear anymore. We're going to want a mix of stealth and acid protection. Make sure we got food, grab some more tools, and we'll get him healing. Ruka we're going to send to recruit people. So we're looking for Kang and we're looking for Rain the Giant. Those are the two we want right now. Kang and Rain the Giant are going to have decent combat stats, and if we put them in some okay medium armor, they'll be able to mine and fight off anybody that really tries to mess with them. I'm sure it seems awful to put the warriors to work in the mines, but we got to start somewhere. We're going to sell off anything that makes them slow. weapon's not gonna cut it. So that's what I was worried about. The weapons are gonna suck. That's fine. We'll get Kang a weapon. We're not trying to have him perfectly set up before we even start mining. We just want to get it going. So now Ruka, we're going to send to the Shinobi Thieves, and she's going to try and come back with some good weapons for them, within reason. We don't want to buy anything too expensive. Eventually, they're just going into our basic army as it is. All of these characters will eventually be running around with heavy armor and crossbows and light weapons. So ideally we want Ruka to pick them up some wakizashis or small katanas. We'll have Casual set up a place for them to actually take that copper that they're mining. Building materials, and then storage for copper. Don't have any building materials, huh? Guess we need more iron plates. It might just be... No, he's set to engineer, so... It almost had me attacking. That would have been terrible. Okay, so we can buy them some cheap wakizashis. That's probably going to be the best. We want them to be able to swing them nice and light. Wouldn't mind Ruka having a weapon too. She can have that. Don't want to buy them any expensive armor. We can buy her this. And we'll send her back. Really what we're trying to do here is get these guys up and running so that, you know, Casual, that's the main character, we're doing our research. We've got two guys doing a killer job mining. Their labor stats are already coming up. We've got Logan set there. He's not doing much, but he'll be able to purchase once we get more money coming in. He'll be able to make those purchases we need for armor, crossbows, and bolts. We're going to have these two work in the mines. And then Sad Neil is going to be there to purchase the expensive science stuff we need as it restocks. And again, we'll just have Griffin as our highly mobile person going to get everything we need. Actually have Ruka go here. We gotta keep an eye on this guy though. He's going somewhere dangerous. In the Fog Islands, if you stop and just stand there, it'll be very easy to get killed. once we get here, we're just kind of looking for, we're going to scoop up a really important character, and we're going to see if they have the equipment we need to run around and not get burned by the acid. If I remember right, they've got a good setup here, and I'll be able to buy what I need. Okay, they don't have it. Okay, so the dust coat, that's what I need for the chest piece. That'll stop most of the acid damage, and then I'm also looking for a special helmet. They don't have it. I think this is just a machine shop straight up. Yep. And then they should have a ranger shop that might have what I need. No, see, this is just the crossbows, which is unfortunate. It's getting late, so we need to get out of the shop. We'll hit Thieves Guild and get another backpack. So we're starting to spend our cats down pretty low. That's the problem with trying to expand efficiently and quickly. But we should be okay. We'll get everything going. We'll get him back to practicing lockpicking. As soon as this guy gets out of the way. There we go. So Ruka should have made it back. Yep. Excellent. Have her go trade. Give them their weapons so they can defend themselves. And now it's not to say they're going to just be okay out here fighting a whole bunch of bandits on their own, but this will at least give them a fighting shot. Alright, time to set up the research. Oh, we burned through all our books already. Bummer. We need cooking. So we're still going to need one more book. So they're kind of idle right now. Griffin's training. Need more money. Looks like a lot of the shops over here are staying open, which is nice. Shop again. There's the armor shop. When the armor shop opens up, that's when we'll be able to buy what we need. Let's go make sure we get our mysterious friend. Should have. There he is. Little mystery character. What's up, Beep? Hi, Beep. How do I know your name? It's just a guess. You would never steal our piss. Wow. They exiled him from the hive for saying beep. Beep is strong. Okay, so Beep just wants to not be a nobody. But yeah, another week nobody. How much money do you want? He doesn't know what that means? Perfect. Excellent team member. I'm gonna pick you up so you don't die immediately. Put our backpack on you so we're not heavy. Just need the armor shop to open up. Oh, what am I saying? We should make Beep our stealthy guy. Can he wear that mask? We could have Beep be our stealthy guy too, since he's already immune to acid. That'll be great. Still want these for Griffin. See, we could have set up in Mongrel, but the highest we're going to get here is probably standard for heavy armor. But we would be able to do a bunch of training out here. It'd just be some high risk training. But we could get everyone out here. It's worth thinking about. And then we're going to run straight to swim. No. We'll run over here. Alright, we need to get more books. Cooking training, research it anyway. We'll grab that, why not? And then we're gonna need Griffin to do some running around for science stuff. That's just the way it is. Bombingham cell stuff. He's gonna have a bunch of copper to sell already. Not that much. Let's double check. Then get back to work. Rutka now can come over here. She can do our selling. Yeah, looks like they're farming up copper pretty quickly too. I'm gonna sell that not katana style sword. So now Ruka can do our work here, getting our books, making sure we sell our copper. So now we've got two separate mining setups. Going to be bringing in plenty of copper. That's going to be our consistent money. We're going to get Beep trained up as another stealth guy. And then we're going to look at doing some runs from the swamp. But we're going to do it without cheesing. We're not gonna carry an entire gigantic pack animal and run the drugs that way. We're just gonna take 2 characters with backpacks and have them do it. But that'll make us a nice little bit of income. Or we could even have them go raid different areas if their stealth gets high enough. It all depends on what we want to do. We will then look at getting a peeler machine and seeing what kind of arms we want to put on our characters and what kind of legs. Because we could just put them in heavy armor with stealth legs and have everyone zipping around super fast. So what we want to avoid, though, is anybody from the Holy Nation seeing us with this bug boy. They're not going to be happy about that. And then Sad Neil, since he's a robot, he can just stay there without us worrying about hunger. Logan, we kept pretty well fed. We bought him enough food to last a while. Once I can get these guys to safety, that's going to be the best time to re-gear them up. And we need to get 2 more of those fancy lanterns. We'll send Griffin over to one of these hive villages. Try to buy those without getting eaten. That's the trick. Going to the other hive villages is pretty high risk. There's a good chance we run into a bunch of big things. So we've almost made it to Squin. We're off to a really good start. We got 2 separate mining operations. We've got someone set up to buy science stuff and high-end crossbows if we ever decide to go something besides toothpicks. We've got someone to set up to buy armor and those toothpicks. Once we get enough equipment to bring back, that's when we'll send Griffin up there. We need to get to researching. Don't want to leave them bored. Alright, put Beep down. See, this is what I was talking about. They're already in a fight. Let's see how they do. So we got the 2 of them with lightweight weapons. They get attacked by a random bone dog, and they take care of it. Not like those were the toughest enemies anyway, but they were able to handle themselves. Here comes another one. See, even with their higher stats, they ran into 2 bone dogs and are already knocked down and wrecked. So we're gonna have Griffin come pick them up. And take them, put them in bed. And we want Rain and Kang to just rest up until they're actually healed up. we've got Beat pretty stealth geared up, but he's not ready yet. He doesn't have as many safe places to train. We're going to have to really be paying attention for that one. Right now, what we need is more lanterns and more gear. We're going to go ahead and hold on to the stealth gear for Griffin. We're going to go get some lanterns. We'll turn his jobs off, buy some food, and head over this way. Ruka, I want you to go buy the team a bunch of food. Because here, there's going to be a lot of hungry people. Now, hopefully we can get 2 lanterns to put on Rain and Kang, and we'll get them some better healing stuff. That way, as they fight and mine, they're going to be somewhat self-sustaining. It's still going to take a little more hand-holding than the other guys do, but it's still a good income. Setting up a good mining operation in 2 different locations is always good money. Saying there's already a nest here. It looks like that was just wolves, which isn't too bad, but that could have been a big thing nest. They can spawn up there as well. Come in here, buy some lanterns, and hopefully make it home alive. Buy some books while we're here. At least when we're trying to make the run home, it's early morning, but we want to get the heck out of that vein area. See, we almost ran straight into beat things, trying to head straight for something. You want to get out of that lower area as fast as possible. That's where all the beat things are. They're just lousy with them, especially with the nests turned up. And see, with this setup, the way we're doing it, we haven't had a full squad wipe. We haven't had to reload. We're not doing any of that business. Get those 2 back to work, and I'll buy them some better medical supplies. We're going to want to buy them better armor, too. They're going to be who we arm up first, just so that they are self-sufficient. Throw those books in there. Now we need electrical and batteries. Ooh, okay, we need the next research bench. So we'll upgrade. And we don't lose those books even though they were in there at the time, so that's always good. We can put Beep on engineer and medic as well. Well, we'll take him off medic. I do not want him trying to heal these 2 guys and getting murdered. So this is what I was talking about, buying better medical gear. The healing packs here are better, as well as these large splint kits. I think you have to have the large splint kits just to be able to splint legs. I'm pretty sure you can't splint legs without the large one. Traded that with Kang. got some stuff to sell. Oh, we didn't even give them their lanterns. Gotta give them the lanterns, the whole reason we left. This will let them be more efficient with their mining in the evening time. Now we're still short iron plates. So this is one of the things that mods usually address. There's literally not enough iron plates in the city to upgrade our bench. It's kind of obnoxious, but it happens. We can wait for that to reload, sell our copper from here, and keep our money going. Kind of a bummer we're just out of iron plates, but it's not the end of the world. We've got a few too many people that I would like just standing around eating up food, but until we find a better way, that's kind of what we're stuck with. Do we want to give them light armor, or do we want to give them heavy armor? That's the question. Say we go with the heavy armor, because that's what we're going to do anyway, so we'll go with heavy armor, and once they actually get good quality heavy armor, we'll buy it. Did your guys' iron update yet? We could really use some more iron plates, guys. Come on. Come on. We're just going to send Griffin to get some more. And this is the benefit of having a high-speed, stealthy character right off the bat. I don't really have to worry about him running into anything. He can just go get what we need and come back. Excellent scout, excellent logistics. As we start to bring in more and more copper from both mining operations, the money will just be bigger and bigger. That should be enough for now. Hopefully we'll get enough iron plates down the line to keep upgrading the bench without having to send Griffin out. But so far what we've accomplished is we've got our science and research bench set up. We've got 2 separate copper mining operations, one of which is safe, one of which is being done by 2 relatively capable fighters, at least as far as the early game. We've acquired a place where we can buy high quality heavy armor and high quality crossbows of the type that I want, which is the toothpicks. We've got steady income. Haven't lost anyone. No reloading, no cheese, nothing. I think that's a good place to stop for now. I'll probably stream some more after lunch, but gotta feed everybody. This is Casual.